Welcome back to Atlanta as we get ready for game one between the Hawks and the Bucks in this first round Eastern Conference Series. In time now for the starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Popeyes. And we begin with Milwaukee, a team that won 46 games this year in the playoffs. For the first time in 4 years, Brandon Jennings, John Salmons to the backcourt, Carlos Delfino, Luc Richard Mbah-a-Moute, and Kurt Thomas for the injured Andrew Bogut in the middle. For Atlanta, the healthiest team in the NBA this year, the usual starting five of Bibby, Johnson, Williams, Smith, and Horford. As mentioned, no Andrew Bogut, broken hand, dislocated elbow. Kurt Thomas doing a nice job filling in with more. Here's Rick Bucher.
Thank you, Dan. That's right. The oldest player in this series at 37 is going to have to fill that void. Now, Coach Scott Skiles says that if Kurt can get 8 points and 10 rebounds a game, he will have done his job. Kurt told me that equally important is keeping Al Horford off the boards. Now, he's been a double-double guy in the playoffs before, but the last time was 6 years ago for the Knicks. And I asked Kurt, does that guy still exist? And he said, I hope that person is still there. Dan?
Well, and they're going to need big minutes out of him, probably in the neighborhood, JB. 30, 35 minutes is what they might ask for him. You saw Andrew Bogut, that horrific injury suffered just a couple of weeks ago. Milwaukee went 4-2 in their last 6 games without him. And the Bucks, quietly, JB, one of the nice success stories, one of the nice surprise stories this season. Nobody thought this team would be playing in the playoffs.
Well, when you're extremely well coached like they are, you have a chance. And Scott Skiles has done a terrific job with his team. Remember, this team lost Michael Redd early in the season, an all-star caliber player.
Atlanta won the season series 2-1. We are underway here in game one. The veteran Bibby defended by the rookie Jennings. Although it may not be that way at the other end of the court. Josh Smith inside, 5 to shoot. Johnson for 3. Marvin Williams is fouled.
That is going to be a problem right there for the Milwaukee Bucks. Offensive rebound. The Atlanta Hawks so athletic. Marvin Williams, Horford, Josh Smith. These guys are going to crash the glass. Andrew Bogut, a double-digit rebounder. You take him out of that mix. Very difficult if you're going to ask Kurt Thomas to control the boards.
Not a great season for Williams. Up and down, had his moments, but by and large did not give the Hawks as much as Mike Woodson wanted. And the play of Williams and Mo Evans on the wing coming off the bench. Mike Woodson said that is a huge key in determining how far the Hawks go in the playoffs.
Well, you think about the 3 spot in the NBA, it's probably the most productive, and they have not gotten that out of Marvin Williams. He lost his confidence, really struggled for a couple months at a time. Played a little bit better towards the end, so we'll see what happens here in the playoffs.
JB, the Hawks start Joe Johnson on Brandon Jennings. Marvin Williams will get the start on Salmons, but after a switch, which Atlanta does a lot, Salmons the miss, or for the rebound.
Well, we're going to see a ton of switching, and the key, according to Coach Skiles, excuse me, I'll get that out, as Josh Smith posts up, is Brandon Jennings cannot settle for long jump shots. If you get Horford or Marvin Williams on him, he's got to take the ball in the basket, put the pressure on the defense.
Keep an eye on Salmons, number 15 for Milwaukee. Had 3 huge games against Atlanta with Milwaukee. Left-handed layup. He averaged over 30 a game in his 3 games as a Buck against the Hawks this year. What makes this guy so hard to guard?
Well, he's got great length. He can shoot the ball face up. He can put the ball on the floor, as we've seen the last couple drives. He can use his left hand, a great finisher, and he's playing with extreme confidence since he's come over from Chicago.
You'll rarely see a change in expression or emotion for Salmons. Al Horford, off the best year of his career, first-time All-Star, Atlanta by 2.
Horford shooting 60% against Milwaukee in the 3-game series this season. A much improved jump shooter. This guy is solid in every area of the game.
There's a quiet reason why the Bucks made the playoffs. Carlos Delfino really had a good year. Played in Europe last year, was property of the Raptors. A trade was made in the offseason. And again, not a ton of huge names on this Milwaukee team, but boy, Scott Skiles squeezes everything out of their abilities.
Yeah, you're right. Carlos Delfino, a much improved 3-point shooter, great athlete. As Salmons raises at the end of the clock. Got to get back, Brandon Jennings.
Horford.
Horford there, looked like he got a pass there from Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcon quarterback. Josh Smith put that one on a rope.
Josh Smith averaging better than 4 assists per game this year, the highest mark in that category of his career. Bibby on Delfino. So you've got unusual matchups. You've got Johnson at 6'7", 240, trying to stay with the quickness of Brandon Jennings, and he can't right there.
Okay, the nerves are gone for Mr. Jennings. But that's what you have to see. He's got to take Joe Johnson to the basket. There's no way that Johnson can compete with Jennings' quickness.
And they don't want to put Bibby on him because Bibby can't stay with him. We may see Jamal Crawford, of course, for Atlanta covering Brandon Jennings at times. Horford, another jumper, not this time. Atlanta 53-29 on the season. The number 3 seed. Milwaukee 46-36. The number 6 seed. Playing without Andrew Bogut. And Jennings fouled there by Johnson.
Well, Jennings has got the matchup with Joe Johnson. We talked about it from the outset. Get by him. Use his quickness. This is just a tough floater. There's no question about it. You like to see him get a little closer to the hoop. But get to the basket. Put the pressure on this Hawk defense. Don't settle for long jump shots.
But that shot's in his playbook. That's not a desperation shot. He's taken that a lot this season. Rises over Horford, doesn't get the bounce. Luke Richard and Mbamute on the offensive glass to tie it at 6.
Well, Josh Smith mistimed that jump, going for that rebound. Good offensive board there by Mbamute.
Nicely done. Josh Smith at the other end. The nicely done was on your pronunciation.
Something like that. Yeah. I'll let you take care of that.
Luke Richard Mbamute at UCLA. Josh Smith makes it a 2-point lead for the Hawks. Thomas short on the jumper.
Well, that's a shot that he can knock down. He's done it for years. A great mid-range shooter, pick and pop guy. Well, that's his game.
Smith trying to back down Delfino. Marvin Williams strong to the glass. You see it in little bursts here and there, what he's capable of.
Yeah, you like to see him put it on the floor, be aggressive, get himself to the free throw line. Very few free throw attempts for Marvin Williams. With his size and athletic ability, you'd like to see him take it to the hoop because you're going to get a breakaway, and Horford's going to get the easy flush.
And it was Marvin Williams' defense that created that opportunity. Scott Skiles concerned already.
Milwaukee takes care of the basketball pretty well, 13 a game. You cannot turn the ball over against this Atlanta Hawk team, especially here at home.
Delfino misses the 3. These two teams just played in Milwaukee in the last week of the season. Atlanta won that game. Again, Smith and Delfino. Smith just too big, but it rims out on him. Stolen by Bibby. A bad pass by Kurt Thomas. Bibby for 3. And Scott Skiles needs to burn a timeout.
Mike Bibby may not have one of his best regular seasons, but come playoff time, we've seen it time and time again. His ability to knock down huge shots. Here he gets the easy steal. Nobody comes out to guard him. Knock it down. Mike Bibby, big-time player here in the playoffs, and the Hawks are off to a great start here in Atlanta.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
This portion of NBA basketball is brought to you by Speed Stick, smarter than sweat.
Woodson is referring to, not only is his contract up, it doesn't extend to beyond this season. Joe Johnson, JB, is a free agent. Who knows where he's going to be next year. Look at the progression in 6 years under Mike Woodson, improving their wins 5 years in a row. 2 years ago making the playoffs. Last year making the second round. Can they take it a step further? He's not putting pressure on himself, but he wants his players to understand they've got a great opportunity this year that might not come around again.
Well, you're right. I sat down with Rick Sun, Atlanta Hawk general manager, prior to this game, and he said, look, I don't do contracts during the season. If we could have got something done before the season, great, but once the season starts, that's the way I operate. It looks like a no-brainer that he's going to come back with the great improvement that they've made, but you never know what's going to happen.
Jennings over Horford, and that will snap the 9-0 run for the Hawks that led to the timeout. Brandon Jennings, definitely one of the top rookies in the NBA. Some people like him. Some people like Stephen Curry. Some people like Tyreek Evans. Those are the three you always hear about. And with good reason. They all had terrific seasons. And Brandon Jennings started all 82 games as a rookie this year.
And he's playing here today. The other two are on a beach or on a golf course.
Right. Mbamute with a rebound for Milwaukee.
I mean, you do have to give him credit for being here, but you can't penalize the other guys for being on bad teams. Tyreek Evans, a sensational season, 25-5. Only Jordan and Oscar Robertson with those numbers as Solomons lifts the three. And Steph Curry in a system that a lot of people don't give him credit because they play such an up-and-down style, but Steph Curry knows how to play the game of basketball.
He's the real deal.
42 to finish his career up there, or his year up in Portland.
Horford's mid-range jumper, JB, just getting better and better.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, 60% shooting against Milwaukee this season, and all primarily jump shots. He's become a deadly 12 to 15-foot jump shooter.
8 points already for Horford. 4 of the 5 Atlanta starters have scored. The only one who hasn't is Joe Johnson. Delfino backing down Bibby. Good help by Smith. Delfino slips inside and gets the roll.
Well, I think he should start the possession down there. Get Mike Bibby down the post. Delfino, certainly with a size disadvantage, could have his way with Mike Bibby down the post. Maybe create a double team.
Josh Smith trying to have his way with Delfino with the other end, making it look easy.
That's a no-brainer there. They're going to have to come to Josh Smith and make him get rid of the basketball.
That's a tough matchup for Delfino. Thomas will take the open J. Back rim. Rebound Hawks.
What are we seeing? Jump shot after jump shot after jump shot. No real low post threat for the Milwaukee Bucks in the absence of Bogut. Puts a lot of strain on your offense.
Smith, nice look. Extra pass, Marvin Williams. Can't do it better than that.
Well, they came at Josh Smith that time. He made a great cross-court pass to Johnson. Unselfish play to swing it to the open Marvin Williams, and he knocks it down. Great ball movement.
Atlanta won a tough 7-game series with Miami a year ago in the first round, and swept by Cleveland in the second round. And as we mentioned for Milwaukee, this is their first trip to the postseason in 4 years. Dan Gadzarich will come in to take Kurt Thomas's place in the middle. The foul was on Mike Bibby, and here comes the first sub for Atlanta, the likely 6th man of the year in the NBA, Jamal Crawford. And he's walking onto the court in a playoff game for the first time in his 10-year NBA career.
How about that? He's been the difference maker for this team, Dan. When you can come off the bench with a legitimate go-to guy, I mean, 18 points a game, not in starter minutes, although he does play a lot. It is such a luxury to be able to sit down your best player, Joe Johnson, Mike Bibby. These guys, the pressure is often when Jamal Crawford comes in the game. Game-winning shots, huge shots, 4-point plays. He's passed Reggie Miller this year with 4-point plays. He's got like 28 of them in his career. A tremendous kid. I mean, I can't tell you how great a kid this guy is.
10 years without a single playoff game. Now Troy Murphy of Indiana inherits the dubious distinction, I guess, of having played the most regular season games without ever going to the playoffs. We asked Crawford this morning what it's like to finally make the postseason.
I just couldn't believe it. I think today was the first day it really hit me that I was in the playoffs. You know, I know that we clinched a while ago and I knew we would be here, but today I just could not believe it. I got the jitters this morning, and that was the first time I really experienced it.
Did you have trouble going to sleep last night?
Yeah, I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't. It was like Christmas. I couldn't wait, you know, for the day to get here, and now it's here.
Well, he'll have to wait another couple of minutes. Timeout. Here with a 4:20 to go in the first quarter, and Atlanta with a healthy early lead.
Ball.
All right, Jonesy, back here in Atlanta. Let's take a look now at our Avatar DVD Blu-ray playoff journey. Look at the Eastern Conference brackets. Cleveland's already defeated Chicago in Game 1 of that series. The Celtics and Heat next tonight here on ESPN. This is Game 1 of Atlanta-Milwaukee. Game 2 coming your way on NBA TV. And then it'll be Orlando and Charlotte with a Game 1 tomorrow night at 5:30 Eastern on TNT. Which team of the 4 lower-seeded teams, the 5 through 8, do you think has the best chance to pull off an upset?
Can I say none? Oh, my.
Josh Smith is having a field day.
This team feeds off fantastic plays. When they start making steals and easy baskets and alley-oops, they get into a frenzy and they play at a higher level here at home.
Salmons gets inside, has to adjust the shot, and the rebound comes down to Horford.
Dan, back to your question, I'd say the Miami Heat. All regular season games, very tight games with Boston. So I'll give the Heat a slight opportunity to win. It's Joe Johnson. What a beautiful back down. And this is too easy right now.
And you think about how different things could have been had Andrew Bogut not gotten hurt.
Well, this team probably would have been in Boston.
Right. They're probably the 5. And Miami's playing Atlanta. And Milwaukee still brimming with confidence. They had a great year. Horford a block. But, I mean, you've taken a guy, a 16-point, 10 rebound, 2.5 block per game guy out of the game. And a guy like Josh Smith can just go up over top of everybody. Nobody's in the paint.
Well, yeah, they don't have anybody in the paint, and they have to change their style of basketball. Scott Skiles said, hey, we want to get stops and get out and run. This is one of the worst fast-breaking teams that we have in the NBA, just 10 points a game on the break. And Atlanta on the other side is one of the best. And you get into a running game with these guys, you get a 24-second shot clock violation. You can't get into a running game with this athletic team. You want to slow the pace. But Milwaukee can't score in the half court because they don't have a low post presence.
A strength for the Bucks has been their bench unit. Luke Ridnour's had a very good season. Jerry Stackhouse joined the Bucks midseason. 35-year-old Jerry Stackhouse, and he is playing well. Both of them are in the game right now.
Well, you see Luke Ridnour on Marvin Williams, and that is another mismatch. They're going to have to come double. That's just too easy.
Williams the miss, Smith the follow.
That's where a problem presents itself. If you do double team and the shot goes up, very difficult to get a body on somebody to box out. Offensive rebounding, an issue.
They're just bigger and more athletic at virtually every position. Ridnour, a very good year, played in all 82 games, shot the ball well. Tried to get the foul, missed the 3. Crawford will shake and bake. Got it.
Skiles has got to get some sort of timeout here. They're going to let him go, but passing the ball around the perimeter, no low post. You've got to take the ball to the basket. You cannot stay on the perimeter.
Jennings. Milwaukee, they take a lot of jump shots. They take more threes than your average team, and they rarely get to the free throw line. Crawford open.
And they're the second worst field goal shooting team in the NBA at 43%.
Now, these are the words from Scott Skiles himself. Second worst field goal shooting team in the league, and Milwaukee's opponents made more free throws than Milwaukee attempted. And Scott Skiles said it to us twice. He wanted to emphasize the point so much, yet they somehow found a way to win 46 games. Joe Johnson. They're getting whooped right here.
Yeah, well, 5 turnovers leading to 11 points for the Hawks. Cannot turn the basketball over. Getting nothing at the rim.
Stackhouse, another long jumper. Long rebound down to Jennings. He'll take it inside, has it rejected. Stackhouse has it blocked. Back-to-back blocks by the Hawks. Here's Smith. Behind the back bounce pass. Wow. And a foul.
This is a mismatch. You see Jennings with a beautiful move, but there's Josh Smith. Number 3 in the league in blocks this season. Al Horford says, let me get my turn. And here's Josh Smith. The athleticism, grabs the ball, runs the break, behind the back pass to Crawford. And it's all fun and games here in this first quarter. Something's got to change drastically here for the Bucks to get back in this one.
Johnson sits down. Horford will sit down as well. Mo Evans, Zaza Pachulia into the game for the Hawks. Ersan Ilyasova is into the game for Milwaukee. This is a unit that has been together a while, and they have progressed every year. They're no longer rookies or second-year players. They're still young, but they're experienced, and they've got playoff experience as well. Stackhouse, tough one.
Well, the only thing with Atlanta is consistency. Last year, in their first-round series against Miami, they won 3 games here at home by over 20 points and lost 2 games in Miami by over 20 points. So that's the issue for them. They have to play consistent basketball at home on the road until they can be considered one of the elites. As Mo Evans posts up the smaller Luke Rittenauer, it seems that they have matchup issues all over the floor.
20-point lead for Atlanta. Milwaukee holding for the last shot of the quarter. Jennings for 3. Brandon Jennings now with 7. Nearly stolen. And the first quarter comes to a close. As you said, fun and games for the Atlanta Hawks for the first 12 minutes. And a 17-point advantage on the Milwaukee Bucks at the end of 12 minutes. All 5 starters scored. Jamal Crawford came off the bench and scored. Everybody scored wearing an Atlanta jersey.